You know, it's interesting. I've been accused of being an ethno-nationalist, which is hilarious if anybody knows me. I am a patriot, but I am not. I think race might be one of the most boring characteristics of any individual person. Why do I bring this up in this particular context? Uh, well, because I do follow some ethno-nationalists on social media, just like I follow some communists, and very occasionally, I go into the melee with my own comments on either side of this argument. But it's important to see what these people actually say. So I'm going to bring it back to the ethno-nationalists here. So the ethno-nationalists, basically, in what I'm talking about, because there are certainly black ethno-nationalists in the United States, in South Africa, and other places. I'm talking about the white ethno-nationalists that you'll find in European and European descended countries, like Canada. And there is some grains of truth there, and that's part of why I am interested in what they have to say. I want to see what they have to say and find some truth, very limited amount of truth, in what they say. But it's also to see what they're saying. Like, what are they actually arguing? You know, the media is very bad in many respects, and one thing they're really poor at is they just dismiss white supremacy, evil white supremacy, but they don't actually engage with the arguments at all. They don't actually explore the ideas in a critical way, or any way. Okay, so here's the thing about the ethno-nationalist position that has to be grappled with, and this is where this is their biggest moral failing of everything. You know, even if you want to buy the racial supremacy argument, what are their solutions? What are their solutions? So you come to power, you're an ethno-nationalist, and you have the political and cultural levers of power in a place like Canada today, or the United States even. What are you going to do? You have about a third of people ish in Canada and the US who are not European descended. What's interesting is if you break down ethno-nationalism even further, you're going to get to the differences between the genetic differences between a Slav and a Frenchman. Like this is a path not worth going down, but I digress. What do you do in that situation? What are your solutions? And the problem is they don't really have one that doesn't involve violence and forced movements of people. Now there are some who are happy to advocate for that. You know, leave or we'll kill you. That's really that's one. You know, some of them, but some of them who aren't, some of the ones that aren't as don't have the violent proclivities. They just think that, well, we'll just tell them to leave. Them being non-Europeans. I guess good luck. I don't really like you can. That's not a solution. That's not a moral solution. That's for sure, and it's certainly not going to lead to a society that you want to have in the end. It's not going to have this roses growing in the grass type of result that you think it's going to have in the aftermath of such an upheaval. So anyways, you know, what needs to happen in places like Canada? I mean, Canada is a failing state. That's just true. So I'm going to use Alberta as an example. Is you have these groups that have come that are in the same place, who come from different backgrounds, and that's gone up so much in the last 40 years. What do we do? What are we to do with this? This could be a problem. You can't have this much division in a society along cultural lines. You can have subcultures, but you cannot have balkanized division. We're seeing the results of this project. It's a disaster happening right now. So we need to have we need to actually have a new ethnicity, right? We need to have, first of all, we all need to speak the same language. I get frustrated with the Koreans and the Chinese who have been here running businesses. Like, they're great hardworking people, but the people who immigrate here and they don't learn a lick of English. And they, like, there's people in town here, they run a restaurant, they're awesome people, they fucking can barely speak English, and they've been in this town longer than I have. Just, you must learn the language. We all have to speak the same language. That is the first thing. And then we all have to have a very core set of values. We can have differing views up top, but we have to agree on the premise of our history, the founding nature that's behind us. And we can't have lies distorting that. We have to talk about where we came from and the journey that got us here. And we must share something together. We have to have something to unify us. You can go to mosque or dharma or church or wherever in the meantime, but at the ground level, you must share something with everybody. Otherwise, we're screwed. And that's where the ethno-nats are right. They base it on racial lines, but they are right. They are correct in the fact that the nation will come to ruin unless there is a nation to speak of. There has to be a core nationality. And multiculturalism is a joke. It's a lie. There is no culture when you have multiculture. You just have balkanization. And we have seen time and time again the effects of this project in the past. Blood is spilled every time.